Greetings and salutations, travelers. Welcome back to the Inn of Planar Crossroads. And as always, welcome back to our Around the Hearth discussions. This time, we are discussing Hungry Hungry Heroes. Mainly because it's alliteration and I like it. We're talking about playing food. And if you thought the pun count was bad last time, we're starting off with a pun this time. It's most likely going to be worse. But you do get legend point or, some kind of thing like that if you keep track of the puns in the comments. So there you go.
Sweet.
I don't know where your spin knows, but you can keep track of it. All right. Well, since there are 3 people here, we like to roll to see who goes first. But let me go ahead and do mine so that you guys can figure it out and get it clear in your head. I am Adam L. Spain with the Inn of Planar Crossroads, as well as the Gentle Voice TV. You can check out the Inn of Planar Crossroads right here at innofplanarcrossroads.com or the iopc.com. Both of those should be working. Let me know if you have any trouble with them. We have this basic landing page right now, but like I've told you guys before, we're hoping to update the visuals here before too terribly long. So Lord willing, that will be the case. And for announcements, I don't think that there's anything at the moment I need to go over. If anything comes up, I will most likely make a post or something about it. But that's what I've got for now. Oh, check out, I haven't been doing it. Check out the Gentle Voice TV on YouTube and YouTube and Rumble if you want to check out our ministry channel. It is in the doobly-doo down below. That's me, which means it's time to roll to see which of the boys that are with me go next. So, odds is Dan because he was late. Didn't come to all of them.
It's true. Guilty.
It's you this time, Dan.
Alrighty. Well, I'm Dan from Avenue Studios. You can find us on Rumble, YouTube, and anywhere you listen to your podcasts. We stream Saturdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, so join us then. Druid's Table news and reviews, and then usually we're going to be doing some live plays with board games, tabletop, and hopefully our Levi shout-out later as well, so hopefully that'll be up in April. And I want to shout out again our Starmind audio logs. They should almost all be up. They are some really cool podcast dramas, memories of a character from our 5-year campaign that are being released to the public as a full playlist. So check that out on our channel. And thanks for having me here. I'm looking forward to some foodie characters.
There we go.
I was waiting for a pun.
I'm not that quick.
He was trying.
Nope.
Well, I accept alliteration also. So.
Not fair enough.
Fun foodie fighters.
There you go. That's good. Ooh, food fighters.
Everybody likes fun food fighters.
That's good.
Okay. All right,
Anyways.
Scrat, what you got?
Tag.
Oh, I am Scrat. That's me from Squirrel Plays over on YouTube. That is the only corner of the internet I'm on, unless you count Discord. And over on YouTube, I make videos, of course, but I like to talk about the mechanics of storytelling, which would involve things like world building and making characters and diving off into magic systems and all that good nonsense. But I also like to talk about the mechanics of TTRPGs, which is also weaving those story bits into your TTRPGs, but also just the actual mechanics of TTRPGs. And that's something I've been getting to do more of lately as I'm getting pulled into this community. And last episode, I made mention that my 5e campaign that I was in for a couple years finally came to a close, like a proper close. We actually finished the adventure. It didn't just fizzle out, so it was a happy ending. But so I'm hoping that will open up more time where I can get involved with people in the little squirrel Discord that we got going on, play some more games, get my feet wet in more systems, get to see more people how they run their games. Like I got to join Avenue Studios for their Pathfinder one shot, which was a blast. It's great to see Foundry really pull its weight. That was pretty impressive. So eager to see different GMs and experience all that. So that's all I got.
He was so
More
worried about the
collaborations.
dragon playing game, and he did just fine. He was
perfect.
I mean, he
Little
didn't.
Rex.
Little Rex.
That's such a good character.
Oh yeah. That's all they had to say the whole time.
It was perfect.
It's all that was truly needed. All right. Well, that means we are done with our introductions and announcements. Now we can get into our Levi's shout out, which technically is a bit of a shout out / spotlight / it's not a sponsorship because it's not technically being sponsored. We are doing it with a referral link for y'all for RPG Stories. So you can check that out. It is currently, I've got the Steam page up. One of the things we've highlighted before is this family sharing, which is nice, being able to share that with, so you can have more than one person that's the GM, perhaps work that for that, or that plays as a GM, I should say. You've got the single player, it's online co-op, you've got the Steam workshop there for things that can be added to very easily. Includes a level editor, of course, which is what this thing kind of is. And you have it as a full 3D TTRPG tabletop. One of the things I thought would be neat with it was taking models from different games you like, whether it's a... let's say that you wanted to play Warcraft, but you wanted to play through Warcraft, the actual RTS, but you wanted to play through it like a TTRPG instead, and play in that universe using those different story beats. Well, you could make your Hero Forge characters, bring them in, and then have the models from the actual RTS there. It's possible. It's possible.
That's pretty cool.
I think that's pretty neat. I believe that is something they're doing and working on, as well as the integration with character sheets and stuff. So,
that would be huge. I just love that I'm seeing the all eras supported too. There's like sci-fi in there, modern. That's really cool. Jake would get lost in there. Just start building maps and never come back.
It's pretty relaxing, man. I was trying to build just a little scene from that book I wrote. There was this spot.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, there was a spot. I actually had to draw it out on paper because more than a few scenes happened there, and there was kind of a busy spot, so I didn't want to contradict they wouldn't have broken the story, but it just wouldn't have wait a minute, I thought this thing was over here. What do you do? Walk through the wall? So I was trying to build that in there. Yeah, I was trying to build that in there, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty relaxing. I'm looking forward to doing some streams with it where you would just build some stuff. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but yeah, just building it, it's fun.
Why not?
Yeah,
that's great.
There you go. And you can use it to preview your worlds, your players. One of the things I brought up with Scrat was making it the map crawl can be much more visually entertaining in that sense, because you can have a 3-dimensional model of actual cities like New York or Chicago or something like that. So there you go.
That's cool. It's a great idea to also use it like Scrat did for the books too.
That can really help you get a visual.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So there you go.
Cool.
You can check those out. Play in the Parthenon or in the Colosseum if you want to. They're
Pokemon in the Coliseum.
That's right. Pokemon in the Coliseum fighting Digimon and dying to the Digimon because Digimon win. The Kickstarter they're running should be coming. I'm not sure how long they're running it, but we have this being our spotlight for it. This is our last spotlight for it, where you'll find the referral link in the doobly-doo. So check it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we got. And I think that's everything for us now, so we can get over here and discuss this, our inspiration from Black Velvet by Alannah Myles. Go ahead and grab your preferred beverage. Join us around the hearth as we discuss Hungry, Hungry Heroes. So... Skull.
Scrat couldn't help himself.
Talk about all this food. We made the squirrel fat.
So good. He's okay with the decisions he's made in his life, though.
Yeah.
Like, he knows, but he's okay with it.
No regrets.
No regrets. No regrets. It's more like, it's not no regrets, it's just, I regret nothing.
Yes, it is.
Alright. Let me come over here to the Around the Hearth chat and get Roderick's stuff before we jump in, since he couldn't be here this time.
Sounds good.
Some of his suggestions. Magic users can be akin to chefs, mixing up recipes to make potions, quotes, and spells. Characters can come from a bland family, and by adventuring, toughen up into more delicious foods. So that may be a way to go from regular bread all the way to pizza. We were talking about that in our world building one. So,
yeah, you missed the whole family tree of making pizzas.
The aristocracy of pizza. I'm telling you, I'm
really excited now.
We've got the chocolate. We talked about the morality of the chocolate kingdoms and the politics of the chocolate kingdoms that one time.
Classic.
I brought that in, and then I talked about how you would have an entire line of pizza being developed. It would mature and grow from this aristocracy, from this line of this bread falls in love with this cheese, and they have a baby,
Romeo and Juliet,
and make a cheesy bread, and then maybe he falls in love with this garlic clove, because you can cook garlic cloves. Roasted garlic clove. Those are so good, and he falls in love with the roasted garlic clove, and now it's roasted garlic cheese bread. And now they have their baby is roasted garlic cheese bread. So it just goes down the line until you get pizza.
Yes.
But that's what I said. That's not on topic, though. So, on topic, we need to decide who goes first. So.
Sorry, I was going to just sprinkle some black velvet truffle right on top of your pizza.
No, he's been corrupted. Now he's going to try and bring about Cake Thulu.
Cake Thulu.
All right. So I'm 1 to 2. Scrat's 3 to 4. Dan is 5 to 6. All right, Scratch, start us off.
I'm excited.
All right.
You already hinted at it last episode.
I did. All right. So, the smoked meats. So, Yes. So, I don't know how familiar you are with this. So, it's one of those things I've been around so long. I forget other people aren't surrounded by this. So,
how familiar am I with smoked meats in the South? I'm gastrically familiar.
Okay. So you know that smell, how strong it is and like distinct, right? So that was one thing. I was kind of thinking you could use, they smoked meats, you smell it before you see anything coming. And then you see the smoke, and the smoke just kind of obscures your vision. And I like to picture the smoked meats like they're, I guess if you want to consider all the sentient food people, they're like no longer people. They've kind of lost it. They've been twisted and been in the smoke too long, right? But like they just horror movie style come out of the smoke, and grab somebody, and that player disappears.
And the fog rolls in and it offers obscuring
yes.
And then the player just kind of stumbles back into view. The monster's gone, but they have that smell on them. And I don't know what the status effect would be. Obviously, dependent on what system you're using, but I would like something to linger on them.
You can do the stench one that's from Pathfinder 1E at least.
What's that one do?
Sickens you. Sickens a bad one to have as a status effect.
Might work. Something to linger, kind of.
Well, technically
take a little damage from the attack, but then the potent part would be just that lingering. And I should probably clarify. I'm not saying that smoked smell is bad. It does smell very good, but it sticks to you.
There are worse things to smell like, let me tell you.
It's just you walk through, you walk past somebody smoking stuff, and it hits you, and it's just on you the rest of the day.
And you're like, what's that smell? I smell delicious. I'm hungry.
I can see that. That's hilarious. Yeah. You could almost go like an orcish feel, like they can't quite fully get out of the smoke.
Yeah, they're stuck to it. That's their zone. That's like in the last episode I was saying you gotta go to the smoked meats area to get the good bread, because you can't have a good barbecue sandwich with basic bread. You have to make good sourdough breads and all that.
So, basic sourdough.
All the girl breads look around and say basic breadings.
basic bread.
What is it? If she was a spice, she'd be flour.
That's good.
Burn.
Yeah, burn there means the same thing as it does here. Burn.
It really right.
So, yeah, they'd be stuck in the smoke area. So.
I almost get this idea of like Elder Scrolls with like a blight. Like if the smoke's sticking to you, it's not something that just goes away, and they have to go in to that area in the game for a while. Long-term effects, that'd be awesome.
Well, they could literally get burned. That might be a status. That could be an effect that gets on them too. I like that idea. I can just see this. Maybe it's maybe it's like a behemoth to them. This smoked pork, and it's a full pig.
That was the other thing, yeah.
It's just smoke. The smoke actually roils off of this pig. It's become so smoked that it brings the smoke with it, and it's like a behemoth that walks, and other smaller pieces of meat hide in the smoke that it brings with it to siege the town. It could be very like you could do grimdark with this, like we talked about.
Absolutely. Yeah. The drippings of like the fat coming off, just dripping hot. So with if you're melee, you're getting hit with hot fat oils.
Yeah. What do they call that? Pit roast. That's not super popular around here, where they just have the whole animal rotating on the thing. But yeah, I did consider that. Yeah, you have just a messed up roasted pig walking around.
That could be a whole
so
dungeon
delicious.
You have to go through, possibly.
Still
whole
got
pig.
the skewer going through it.
I love that.
I know what it is. That's the steed that the molasses rides.
Yeah,
Queen molasses upon her skewered pig steed.
No, it's got lots of skewers in it, and she throws them like spears.
Yes!
Javelins. And she skewers them and smokes them.
Oh.
I'm surprised those little plastic swords that you skewer fruit pieces for drinks and whatnot haven't come up in any of these chats.
Ooh, that's so right. Do a whole cocktail adventure. The umbrellas and the swords and
Very true.
olives, cherries.
All right. So we've given some time to Scrat's idea. I like it very much.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see if it's me or Dan. Dan's odds. I'm evens. I'm evens. Okay.
All right.
So, with specific adventures for this one, I do want to take up that Cthulhu type of thing, like we were talking about there, and have it like an investigation. I kind of already did mine. Maybe it's this it's this peanut butter adventurer, peanut butter sandwich adventurer from up in Memphis, coming down, and he makes contact with this banana, who's a slippery contact. So. This banana gave him the slip one time up in Memphis, but he knew he came down here, down to Mississippi.
He just had to stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, if you keep saying it, it'll just get funnier, right?
It goes through cycles. It'll not be funny, but keep going. It'll be funny again.
Yeah. So, the thing with that is that merging of those two people. You could even have it where the banana's female and this is a male sandwich, because you got to do that. What is it? It's not a femme fatale, but it's because she's not fatale. She just got away one time. And you could do it where she doesn't necessarily have to be a criminal, or maybe she did something bad to someone who did something bad to her and he let her go.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be a slip away. So you can play with that type of relationship.
You can fix her. You can save her.
So he thinks he can. So this peanut butter sandwich is trying to investigate this, and he's trying to stay above board with it as much as possible, but maybe he's a PI and not a full detective.
I do like that. I don't know why, but the PI hat on a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah.
It's very satisfying.
And if you play that in with I'm bringing in that kind of romance part. There's this love me tender in there. So if you do that with the characters, then maybe there's some buy-in where this particular song is their thing. And that's what makes the difference. Let me see. If you're going to do it where they have that previous connection, you could have, and you want the banana to be more sympathetic, the banana might have called him, might have tipped off whoever called him. Who was it that we said called? Southern Bell Pepper.
Yes.
Was looking around, and Banana, her friend, Bananarama, or whatever her name is, called her in.
Okay.
Or told her to call if she didn't want to do it herself, type of thing. And so now you have this previous connection. And if you have more than 2 players, you can always do a bit more of a split up where it's you got peanut butter, you got bread, and you got banana, and maybe there's this tension between them all. But it requires all of their powers combined.
Yes.
By their powers combined, Cake Cthulhu will be stopped. And the Black Velvet cult will not rise up and take over Mississippi.
Mississippi Mud.
That's where they're doing the sacrifice, on Mississippi Mud Island.
No.
Yeah.
I love it. I was just getting visuals in my head. It's so good.
I know, it's just so good. It's so good. I like it. Pretzel police officers, you know?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
They're just so salty, you know?
You beat me to it.
And you can always tell which one's the crooked ones.
No.
I was gonna go with something like they're always bending and twisting the truth, but that works.
Oh my goodness. It's something that would be so fun with running this, because then you be the president and you're just like, oh, this case has just got me all twisted out of shape.
And he's straight.
Yes. I tell you, if your table's not groaning in pain from the puns, you're not doing your job.
I know, right? Just gotta hit it.
Oh, man. That's good.
So we've got those two characters. 3, possibly.
Right. Yep.
It would be interesting if you want to have more to dive into Elvis's other food preferences. That could also work. But I know he's known for his peanut butter banana sandwiches. So.
That's great.
Let's.
All right. Is that me then?
Yep.
I don't know if I'll do justice here, but vibing off of my setting, the idea I had was the lone gunner, just known as Black Velvet. He's this dark, candy, hard exterior, but he comes into the town and finds it a mess. His favorite drink is, of course, Black Velvet whiskey on the rocks. And my wife insisted that he drinks it through a Twizzler straw, which I didn't like as much, but we're going to make it canon.
Maybe that's real life. That's real life Dan having a problem with it, though. Not necessarily
yes, it is.
Black Velvet.
As soon as she said, I was like, you can't drink whiskey through a straw. But anyways, I had to have the Black Velvet whiskey. That's his favorite drink. But maybe, just maybe, he has a sweet, soft center. If someone, maybe one of the pixie sticks at Mississippi's could, pull it out of him. But he's the only one, perhaps, that could stop or pull together a group. I was almost getting this idea of, why am I blanking?
Seven.
Magnificent Seven, thank you. That kind of idea, pulling together so the whole party could all create these characters just like the Magnificent Seven to come in against the White Lightning gang on their sour gummy worms. But I just like the idea of the black coat. It's the Black Velvet hard candy. And
it's the Seven Samurai, not Magnificent Seven. Get it
agreed. Seven Samurai is the newer Magnificent Seven wasn't too bad, but the Seven Samurai is great. And the middle Magnificent. Although the throwing knife and shooting gun, I was like, but it's fine. Anyways, that was my guy, the lone gunner drinking his Black Velvet whiskey, and he's known as the Black Velvet. It's the only one.
He says he drinks black whiskey, but it always brings him to his knees.
That's
he can't
good.
actually drink. He just pretends like he does.
That's why he uses the Twizzler straw.
He's actually just wanting to eat the Twizzler.
Starting to sound like a Rango or whatever.
It does sound a little Rango, doesn't it? But I like that. I like leaving it vague. Like, you could give him a backstory if you want, or something like he used to work with the Warheads as like a Pinkerton or some kind of federal agent, but now he's off on his own. He's here to eat Twizzlers and kick butt, and he's all out of Twizzlers.
There you go. I mean, if you're going to do it where it's more of a thing he wears, like the Velvet's more of a thing he wears, he could be like a Tootsie Pop, and he's got this hard outer exterior, and they've got to get to the center. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? You have to ask one of the pixie sticks.
That's good. I always like a little sensual undertone under that. Oh, but that's exactly the moment you could have as the GM too if you're playing with Pixie Sticks. She's like, how many licks does it take? And everyone in the team's like, oh. Stop.
Well, that's the point you want to get your players to, where they're like, oh. That's kind of the point of these absurd games, you know.
It
This
absolutely
particular absurd
is.
game.
And then they turn around. My hope is always they get so exasperated that they're now trying to one-up you. So just everybody's at it. But yeah, I love the idea of Black Velvet walking into town. Classic thing. Everybody looking out.
Yeah. Again, they get to go to the candy store and pick out their mini.
Yes. It's actually really good for like doing like a Seven Samurai Magnificent Seven idea too. Everyone comes with just the most obscure candy you can find. What is your special skill?
So I get like those toffee they're kind of like a rice toffee candy that has the rice paper around it and then a wrapper.
Oh,
That's
okay, yeah.
One of your White Rabbit samurai. It's a milk candy. That's what it is.
Yes. Oh man, and as the GM, like doing I don't know what you would do for White Lightning. I wasn't sure exactly, but I like that name for the gang. But having a bunch of sour gummy worms there, and then I don't know what you would use. Whatever candy you want.
Well,
for
they're
the bad guys.
They're those. They sound like they're really bad, like White Lightning, but when you actually meet them, they're just those drinks that have candy in them.
Oh, that's good.
Alcoholic drinks that have candy in them.
Yes.
So it's like a nerd shot or something like that, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
led by this really timid Jello shot or something.
Very sensitive about his body. That's so good.
Someone says you can't wiggle out of this, and he's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean?"
This is what I'm talking about. Oh man. Awesome. Let's do it. We've talked about this, Adam, doing a live stream where we do that with the drinks or the like food or something.
Well, Avenue Studios has proposed the drink idea. The problem is everybody would be so hammered by the end that no one would remember to stop the stream.
And bonus content.
Bonus.
We'd have
bonus
Austin.
content.
He'd have drank too much Diet Coke because he doesn't drink anything but Diet Coke.
Well,
So if he doesn't die from all the
sucrose.
yeah. What's the other? I can't. Oh, I'm blanking on the other ingredient in Diet Coke that everyone talks about.
It starts with an A, doesn't it?
Yes,
I know
it
what you're
starts with an
talking
A.
Aspartame.
Aspartame.
There it is.
Thank you.
Not very good for you.
Yeah, if he doesn't die of that, which he probably won't because he lives off of it, he's like pure aspartame at this point. He could shut the stream off. That is fun. That's with these food things. I know I said it last time, but that would just make such a fun game. It could be something fun to do too if you're running a long campaign. You want to take a break. We've talked about this before, taking those one-shot breaks to like switch things up, or as a player, give your GM the night off and just do one of these. You know, especially for your forever GM to run something like this. So easy. It's lighthearted and a ton of fun. And you get to eat a bunch of good candy or food, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
There might be some cleanup afterwards. That's the only thing.
That's why you stick with finger foods. You know.
Yeah, finger foods are good.
Everybody, you get your peanut butter and banana sandwiches. Get your candy. Get your.
Oh my word! If you did Scrat's idea, and at the end, if they succeed, you actually bring out peanut butter banana sandwiches for everyone. Bask in your victory.
You have unified your powers together. Now feast. I don't know. I would probably want to lose so I could eat the pigs. So I could eat the smoked meats. Not necessarily a pig, but the smoked meats.
I mean, comment below if you're gonna smoke some meats for your party. That's awesome. What a way to end your game.
All right. Let me see. I believe. Close enough, I think. All right, gentlemen. Let's move into final thoughts time. We will go ahead and, unless you guys have one that you want to go with, we can roll.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I keep looking behind the scenes. My screen's over here. That squirrel is always staring right at me.
You're watching.
You're
looking
watching.
over.
So
I make eye contact with it.
it's like, I wonder how you taste.
I've tried everything else.
All right. You rolled you, Dan.
All right. Oh, that's good. I'm basically going to echo what I've said. These are just generally, these are so much fun, and try to make your table grown as much as possible. But this is one of those ones where you can easily pull in little bits and bobs to make the game a blast. And if you smoke meat for a game, please invite me. That would be amazing. But for real, this I think I'll just reiterate what I said. It's a great one to break up if you're doing a long campaign. Do something silly. It could be a dream sequence for the character. You know, they all fall asleep and have a shared dream. That's always a fun thing to do if you just need a little break. And it could be a great way to wet your feet as a game master, because everything's ridiculous. Why not just have some fun? It doesn't really matter. Rule of cool ultimately applies to these types of games. And comment below if you've done something like this, or if you've used food before. I would love to hear stories about what people have done, because the squirrel distracted me again. Forgot it was zoomed in. But yeah, anyway, that's it.
All right.
No matter where I am, he's always looking at me.
All right.
Anyways, that's me.
So, I'll be odds this time, and Scrat can be evens.
Same thing, best friends.
Well, it was Scrat, so...
All right. I'll tell you what my final thought is. I think that I'm hungry. This chat, these chats have done nothing for me. I am starving now.
Legit.
Actually, we'll close it out with a question, and we barely touched on it, I think, in the second episode before you got here. So with all this food nonsense we're doing, what systems do you think would work good for it? Now, I would, if you get to eat dead players, something like Mouse Ritter, I would think would probably be great, because it's all about dead characters.
Right?
Dead characters. Something like Mouse Ritter would be great, because they die a lot in that game. So
That's an interesting point.
Well, if you get to eat the tokens, then that means you're not really trying to win.
yeah.
So...
Should we help our fellow
I
person who's dead?
Guess I'll have to eat him.
So then the idea is you make the enemies tasty goodies.
Yes.
Oh, it does.
Players are...
It does make some interesting ideas. You make the players like really sour things, or most people don't like black licorice, so they're black licorice. Or something like that.
Yeah. Or jumping off of Roderick's post, your characters start out really bland, and you need to get to those top levels before you've actually got some salt on there, some flavor, sauces.
Now, here's what you do. You figure out what all your players' food allergies are. That's their token. I say, if you lose, you gotta eat it.
And
then
your
Fat
player
Squirrel says, "Then
your,
we eat you."
your player just looks at you and says, "Okay, you got an EpiPen?"
Roll to find out.
Better roll high.
Well, I guess we know why Scrat's got a player died last night.
We got off topic of Scrat's question, but obviously the open systems, Open Legends, Sagas, blanking now too. GURPS would probably work for this, obviously. Realistically, for me, I don't know. This is personally for me, I'm very okay throwing out flavors on anything, so I can see myself doing this with anything. Although the open systems are easier, especially if someone's struggling. And there is something about like Open Legend. I always love the basics of the banes and boons and the perks and flaws, because they try to keep them general to be setting agnostic. It does make it very nice to easily twist it to something specific to whatever world you're building. Whereas with like 5th edition Pathfinder, any of the bigger games, you gotta throw out the flavor text, just look at the mechanics and then replace it. For me personally, that's not a big deal. I don't mind doing that, but sometimes with players, check in with your players if they're okay, you know. And I would think, as long as you're prepping everyone ahead of time, people would start to have fun with, okay, how do we just reflavor this as food? Because then that almost becomes like a meta game inside your game you're playing. But I don't know. That's my first thought. I love the idea of the mouse raider, though. It's actually doing a really deadly system like that with something absurd like this could be really interesting.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Call of Cthulhu, which I don't think you would even think, can you do that in an enjoyable way? I think so.
Oh, I mean, you can play Call of Cthulhu seriously, or you can play it completely unserious. It really is just... It boils down to what type of peanut butter do your players like? Crunchy or smooth?
As soon as you said peanut butter, I knew where you were going.
On the topic of food allergies, you know what's really sad?
No.
I'm allergic to tree nuts.
No.
I am. It doesn't fit the theme very well.
That's why you're swollen. You're not overweight.
Yeah,
You're having an allergic reaction. Get that squirrel an EpiPen.
same.
Oh, that the irony.
Now we know it's not "I regret nothing." That's just because his lips are swollen. He's actually saying, "I regret everything."
Oh my goodness. That's so funny, Scrat.
It's a good thing squirrels are omnivores.
Yeah.
That's why he likes the smoked meats idea.
Should that be our... should I feel like that should be the comment for today, something like that.
I feel
allergic
like
to nuts.
Yeah.
I feel like it's get that squirrel an EpiPen.
That's pretty good. I like that.
It's get that squirrel an EpiPen. That's our comment for this time, everybody. And I guess that's a good comment to leave off on.
Yeah.
Because that's mainly what I would say too, as far as the question, as well as my final thought. It depends on what type of peanut butter your players like. Whether it's crunchy or soft. Crunchy or smooth, to be specific.
Silky smooth.
That's right. Well, see.
Velvety smooth.
That's the lady peanut butters. They're smooth. All right. Before we get too deep into that type of thing... we can't get to the next chat that you guys will see next week, which, let me see, this is the last in April. So, May is next, which means it's Modern May. Which, I guess, our past chats have kind of been leading into the next chat. So this chat talked a lot about more of a modern type of setting. So we're leading into it. we hope you have enjoyed this chat, and Lord willing, you'll come back for the next one. Do remember, since this is the last chat, I will restate things. Do remember, we have that referral link down below for RPG Stories if you want to check it out and take advantage of their and support their Kickstarter that they're having for more updates to this particular piece of equipment for your TTRPG stuff. Do remember, A Squirrel Plays on YouTube. And Avenue Studios, who I have their whole website actually up. So they're on YouTube, Rumble, Patreon, Locals. You can check that out.
Indeed. Thank you.
Yeah. And we go from their nice looking website to my almost Angel Fire level website.
Streamlined and efficient.
Yeah. So, of inofplanarcrossroads.com or theIOPC.com. You can check that out there. It's for this particular channel. If you need some ministry type of content, that is over on The Gentle Voice TV on YouTube and Rumble. That's what we have this time, everybody. Enjoy the pictures of the food characters as we say, have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye.
Bye.
This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.
All right, that one came across good. Sounds doing good.
Awesome.
Yep. I had to rework my display on OBS completely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I told Scrat, I'll tell you too. I had to update my OS. So.
Oh.
That's what that was. But it's no big deal.
Yep. I always hold off as long as I can with those.
Yeah. Had to reinstall a few things. It's not crazy. It's not like it's a big problem or anything. But it was somewhat annoying.
Was it 30? One of the updates did legitimately fix a bug I was running into. I can't remember which one it was. I was like, all right, respect. You actually did it. Usually, especially with Adobe, every time it updates, it just makes more bugs. I don't know if they even do QA. They just send it out into the ether and let people complain long enough, and then they fix it. They also removed the cloud service, but they're still charging the same. And I'm a little frustrated about that, because we used it a lot.
Yeah, that's
fine.
I mean, you remove a feature that someone's paying for.
Yeah, it's... I don't know. I can't imagine maybe it's the cost of servers? I don't know. I find a hard time thinking they weren't getting enough for that.
Well, Dan, you may just have to switch to free programs like this pleb does. I don't know.
I just piggyback because Kristen needs it all for her. Well, I do most of it now, the Wegman stuff, but still, we already have it. Might
That's
as well
fair.
use it. Otherwise, I totally would. I've heard a lot of good things about, I think it's Black Magic.
I've heard that one. There's Black Magic, there's Da Vinci. I think Da
DaVinci.
Vinci.
Da Vinci.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I use Caden Live simply because it's one of the older ones, but it's one I'm familiar with. So I just stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned to do different things with it that I would have to learn to do somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
So,
It makes sense. The dynamic link with Adobe is really nice because I do After Effects, Audition, Premiere, and Photoshop. So it is nice that they all integrate so cleanly. And I can have multiple open, so I'll update in Photoshop and it auto updates in Adobe Premiere. So that is nice. I do like that. And again, it's like we already have it for the photo stuff, so might as well just keep going.
True. Speaking of keeping going, Are we ready for the final chat?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.